So today I am super excited to share with you how I style a vignette in my home. So this vignette behind me where my console is and artwork is kind of the focal point in my living room. What I'm excited about is to rediscover my space in a new light and to also kind of show you guys how we can look at objects around our home and style them and pair them together in a different way, not only to cure maybe some boredom and to keep ourselves occupied in our home, but also to create beauty and to reappreciate some of the things that we've collected over time and to just give you a blissful distraction, which is much needed right now. When I originally designed this home in 2009, we were in the midst of that like very rustic, reclaimed industrial antique movement. The furnishings followed suit. I had a really big sideboard, which was beautiful and Georgian antique, but it had this like rustic patina to it, and the artwork that hung over it was very large, horizontal, black and white, and very busy. It was very abstract, and there was a lot of motion and movement in the artwork. So I knew when I designed this that I wanted to move in the complete opposite direction. I wanted the artwork to be very serene and simple. I didn't want a sideboard. I wanted more of a console, and I wanted it to be very minimal and streamlined. And I wanted some sort of sculptural, artful, Brancusi-like quality to it. So I decided to collaborate and work together with Green River Project, who are incredible furniture designers and artisans and artists at their core. And we had the most incredible collaborative experience, bouncing ideas back and forth, sending sketches to one another, smashing two ideas together, them adding to my idea, me adding to their idea. I got so excited and so wrapped up in that design process that I forgot to double check the dimensions. When we first started the process months earlier, I had given them the dimensions of the old piece that was here. So in my mind, I just thought, oh, we're gonna do the same size, but I never really checked and double checked, and that was my own fault. So when I got the piece, it was so much smaller than what I was used to, and also a lot smaller than the overall scale and volume of this room could handle. So it just looked really diminutive and small, and I panicked, but this was a custom piece that I was very much involved in the design of, so I knew I had to make it work. So what I actually did is kind of gather some other items in my home to create an overall composition that would actually make the console look and feel bigger, because it had friends that it was huddled together with. All of a sudden, when all of these pieces came together, suddenly the overall experience of the console wasn't just the console alone, it was everything as a whole. I'm gonna wipe the slate clean of everything that I have on the console and all of those items I have huddled together, and I'm gonna slowly bring them in to show you how I made the decision and what my thought process was, and hopefully it could just help you become inspired by the things that you already have in your home and how you can pair things together differently and just have an incredible creative endeavor. So I'm going to take you through that process now.
The overall design of this vignette is based in asymmetry. And although it might seem counterintuitive, I'm actually trying to balance the overall composition as I remain rooted in an asymmetrical configuration.
So the console, as I said earlier, felt a little bit small. So what I did was I started to think about items that I can huddle together with it to bring things in closer to make it feel overall like a larger composition.
As I looked throughout my home, I was seeking objects that would fill specific voids. And while each vignette here is subtly different, I did follow a specific formula to unify the composition. Scale is really important. You want to be sure you have a variety of shapes, some perhaps more delicate and paired with other items that are more weighted and dominant. In each vignette, I've nestled together low stools to sit in the cavity beneath the console.
All right, for this next vignette, I am going to keep the column or pillar and the round French vintage vessel and just kind of change up the styling.
In each vignette, I knew that I needed a dominant piece to add verticality on the right side of the console. I also knew on the left side of the console, I wanted something that was lower and curvaceous. And atop the console on the right, I wanted a grouping of supporting players to be paired together. I always find it essential to include something that you would find in nature that's a little bit wild and a little bit sculptural. To sit on top of the console on the left-hand side, I knew I wanted a singular statement piece. And in each vignette, I've used varied materials to specifically either create contrast or cohesion.
For this final vignette, I decided to pull out the column and pull out the round French ceramic vessel and use other items in my home to kind of huddle together with that console. So I'll show you right now.
Most of all, play around and have fun. You can layer your items, you can stack books, you can rearrange items ever so subtly. You can add to your vignette, you take away. You should take a picture and live with it. Step away for a bit and see what needs more and perhaps what needs less. Or maybe it's perfect just for you, exactly what your eye is craving in your home.
I ended up doing a kind of second option on the second design just because I saw these pretty black vessels in my house and I was like, oh, let me try and trade those in. Anyway, it was fun. I hope it inspired you to look around your space and see it as a blank canvas for you to shop within your own home, have some sort of creative experience, and have an appreciation for our homes, since that's where we are for the foreseeable future. Everyone stay safe and stay healthy, and thanks.